They're sitting on a couch. It's usually just 2 characters or sometimes 3 characters. And they're always talking and sitting. Just sitting in a chair. The pacing sucks. There's no style to anything. It's so boring.
From the concrete shores of Arlington, Texas, this is the Approximate Podcast with your hosts, Jamie French, Orion Quest, and Diva Powers.
Well, actually, I got this from Facebook. There was some guy that got in trouble with the police. He worked at McDonald's and got caught for smuggling chicken McNuggets, about 20 chicken McNuggets in his anal cavity.
I saw that too. Yes. My question is, like, what was he going to do with the chicken nuggets once he got home? Like, because... let me take the 20 chicken nuggets out of my ass and eat them. Like, no.
Well, I can only hope that he was going for it. I hope he was going for a Midnight Express style where he had wrapped said chicken McNuggets in some type of cellophane. Plastic, if you will.
He put them in his prison purse. It was okay.
Yes. His prison purse. Well, I know what he's hoping for. He's trying to get some type of reprieve, but I will assure you that Mayor McCheese is tough on crime.
Yes, he is.
So
which sauce covers up smegma?
Yeah, good
Is it
the secret sauce?
Barbecue? Which do you prefer? Honey mustard, barbecue,
sweet and sour?
They're doing ranch now, right?
Yeah, I think they're doing ranch.
Which one do you like to cover up smegma?
I've never had to cover up smegma before.
Shh, Diva, you'd know.
Sweet and sour.
See?
Hands down.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Approximate Podcast. My name's Jamie French. We are here with Orion Quest, yes, and Diva Powers.
Hey, bitches.
Your 3 hosts. And we are here also with our, I guess they're our official note taker and jotter down of ideas, Katie. Katie, say hi.
Hi.
Yeah. So, here we are. This is episode... Diva, you came up with a subject for today. Say the thing, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. I was thinking that we could talk about how, like, we have cell phones now, and so we have more knowledge at our fingertips than ever before in human history. We can find out anything.
Calm down. You're overselling it.
Seconds.
You're overselling it. Calm down. We got cell phones. Yeah, we all got cell phones.
30 seconds to know anything.
So, we have information at our fingertips, and what's the problem with that?
Well, the problem with that is there's more known facts than ever before in human history, and people are, as a response to that, denying actual facts, like things that are really true, not an objective opinion, nothing like that, like actual facts. They're saying these things are not true, these things never happened, these things don't exist. And are they doing it because they're scared? Are they doing it because they're ignorant? Like, what's that about?
First of all, so we, on our phones, we have, and on our computers, and just in everyday life, you can't, you just look around. You can't escape information.
Within arm's reach.
Yeah, sure, we have access to all sorts of facts. What kind of people? Like
people that say the Earth is flat. Very obviously, the Earth is not flat. But there are people out there who legit, for real, think that the Earth is flat. Or that we didn't go to the moon, or the Holocaust never happened. Like, all those things are not, did it really happen? Did it not happen? Like, they really actually happened.
And you're saying, well, dude, you can just Google it.
Yeah, like you could look at many different places to find out that these things are true, that these facts are true, and yet there are people in the world that absolutely refuse.
I have a thing to say about those kind of people, but let's go further before I start saying anything or Ryan chimes in. Or Katie. Hey, Katie.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good.
All right. What other kind of people? Because it's easy. You name conspiracy theorists, but beyond that,
not even. I'm
trying to drive you to a place. What other kind of people are like that?
Religious people.
Okay. And
Republicans.
Okay. Okay. But not just. You actually raise a very important point. We do have access to information.
Tons of it.
actual information.
From scientists and shit.
Don't. Okay. You're taking 2 steps back. Don't just say and shit. Google. You don't go to the internet and just assume that Google makes up all the information you have access to.
Shit.
No, the internet is where things are posted.
Yes.
The internet is where factual information is posted.
Yes.
Not to fuck with anyone or not to be political or anything. It's just that's where we keep information. So yes, you're right. We do have access to information, every single one of us. And there are a certain, I don't know if subset is the right word. There's a certain kind of person that, although they live in the world, they actually use the same internet.
Yes, the very same one.
They use the same internet to opine.
Yes.
And knowing they have access to facts, they don't realize or they
don't care.
Or they don't care to utilize the rest of the internet, not just as their own personal platform, but as a repository for all of human knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I get that. So there's the reason why I wanted you to clarify between what is generally conspiracy theories, flat earthers,
Holocaust deniers,
those kind of people. But then there's also the other set, and they're not as wild in their opinions. People that have access to facts but aren't conspiracy theorists, I'm trying to decide which way to go, because I can address the conspiracy theory thing and why those people don't utilize the facts that they have at hand. But I think it's more interesting to talk about the other, and that's why I was trying to get you to say who the other kind of people.
Where are we trying to go?
They're the exact kind of people where you say, well, dude, you have all the facts at hand. Why are you being this way? You know? And they're, like you said, they're generally more conservative thinking.
Yes.
They're maybe leaning towards Republican or libertarian.
Yes. More right.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about these kind of people that aren't utilized, because your whole question was, in a world full of facts that are at our fingertips, why are people so awful?
Well, and why would you legitimately choose to ignore facts, things that are true, and say that didn't happen?
Okay, so this gets to the point of what I was going to say. Hold on. I'm going to light a cigarette. Okay, so I was thinking about this earlier when you sent me a text about this. And I think the answer is really, really stupidly simple. It's stupidly simple. You'll find that the people that don't utilize facts do it for one reason only. The more that angry people, and here's the important thing about being angry, is there are people with a dopamine deficiency.
Yeah.
Okay? You'll find that you're really hardline conservatives, you're really wonky libertarians, and you're people that are heavy Republicans. Not fiscally conservative. I'm talking socially
like silent
conservative.
Generation Republican type people.
Those are the kind of people that you'll generally find have a dopamine deficiency, and it can be placated without the use of drugs through anger. Okay. Anger releases a lot of dopamine. It releases a lot of dopamine, and it requires you to do the least amount of work. If you can be angry about something, then you can get high off of being angry. And the more facts that you have at hand, the less angry you can be. And so when people don't utilize the internet for all it's worth, it's because it would defeat their self-medication.
Yes, but
it would defeat their self-medication. If they were to wise up and actually take the time to look at the facts, well, that's no fun. That's work. And that's going to lead me to a path of happiness that is going to take up too much of my time. You know what's easier? Being angry. I'd rather be angry. So the only way I can be angry is if I
willingly ignore the facts.
Is if I'm a
about.
slave to confirmation bias. I have a view.
They said, people are saying.
I have a view of the world that says 3 simple things, okay? But there are 5,000 things that would prove those 3 things fucked up and wrong. So they sit around, they go, well, you know what? I'm just going to pick out all the information that speaks to my 3 simple things. And then they set themselves up in a world
So they're only
to where
looking
they
at
can
things that reinforce that.
continually be angry at the 5,000 things that they feel are pressing them down. The 5,000 actual bits of factual information. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Ignoring facts gives them further reason to continue to be angry so that they continue to feel good.
But then you
because
sound so
without that anger, they'll have nothing.
But they sound so stupid. I mean,
That's not their concern.
But-
they don't care about sounding
How do they
stupid.
think
Stupid's
anyone's
the
gonna-
least of their problems.
how do they think anyone's going to take their anger seriously? They
It's
sound
not
like a fucking fifth
about.
grader.
It's not about having them take their anger seriously.
No, having
They
us
don't-
take their anger seriously.
They don't. That's the thing. The root of it is that part doesn't matter so long as they continue to get to be angry, because that's the thing that gets them off. You have to be angry. You have to be fearful.
There are
You
all
have
these
to be
things to be mad
jingoistic.
about.
You have to be xenophobic, because that's the thing that feels good, because it's simple, it's easy, it's base, it's animal. You don't
Reptile
have to
brain.
think about it. It's reptile brain, it's limbic system, and the more facts that you have access to are things that will
Derail all
probably
that.
take your anger away. We can't have that, because that means I have to think and do research, open a book. What a
Change my
drag.
mind
No,
about
you know what?
things.
I like being an angry person. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to access those facts. I'm going to limit my sphere of information that's
To
given to me
reinforce
through my social
what I think.
networks to completely reflect and reinforce my own confirmation bias about how I feel the world should work in a way that allows me to continually be angry.
Actually, may I real quick?
Oh, please, by all means. Katie, everybody, Katie.
Hi. I could imagine that there are 3 really big factors into this conversation. 1, dial-up. They could be somewhere with dial-up. 2, uneducated. They could live in a real rural place with no education. Or 3, they got a flip phone.
Well, here's the thing about education. For people where education matters, you have a predisposition to be educated.
That's right.
It's not. You could educate a bigot all day long,
But they're
but
not
if
gonna-
if feeling mad feels better than knowing the facts, you won't do any good.
True.
You could try to drill information into an angry person's head all day long. It's not going to work.
The
It's
circular
not going to work
logic
because
thing.
the anger the feeling that the anger gives you outweighs the
Anything else.
euphoria of knowing how the world works. Admittedly, to our limited human capacity, but we're only 200,000 years in. If the human species lasts another 300,000 or 400,000 years, oh geez, I mean we're gonna
end up like that movie Idiocracy, where we're all like 400 pounds living in armchairs and
no.
watching
What I'm
fucking
saying,
reruns all day.
is we're.
That's where people are going.
What I'm saying is we're smart now, but only on our limited time scale. I can only imagine how much smarter we'll be in the future. Okay?
I hope you're right.
So when you hear an angry person say, "Oh, well, you don't fucking know anything. It's fucking God and fucking what about beliefs and faith?" and they go on like that, and they're like, "Well, dude, you're thinking on such a small timeline.
That's what most
You're thinking
people
on
do,
such
though.
a small timeline." And the whole point is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because feeling angry, because these people have it's not an intelligence thing.
Some
of the
cases
most,
it is.
but some of the most intelligent people I've ever known are still angry and emotionally limited. Maybe not emotionally intelligent. They can do facts and figures all day long. They can do math. They can do problem solving. They can do pattern recognition.
But it doesn't change their social view.
But it doesn't change their social view. And they don't care to have it changed. That's the problem, is that they don't care to have it changed. In a world where we have all the facts at our fingertips, it means for nothing to a person that is chemically deficient.
Well, I mean-
So what I'm saying is there's no hope. But
I already
there's a
knew
silver
that.
lining. There is a silver lining.
People will die.
Well, yeah, that's the easy classic thing that high school kids say, you know.
Darwinism.
But yeah, the old fuckers die, old modes
Well,
of
it's true,
thought
though.
die
They
out.
do.
And yeah, it is true. But rather than concentrate on the negative, of course these people will die. Sure. But instead of bitching and complaining about people that have access to facts that have no care to utilize them because they're simply not built to.
Yeah.
Biologically, they're not built to. You can't reach an asshole. You can't.
You can try.
You can try, but the only way an asshole turns into a good person is through personal experience.
Yeah.
And that's circumstantial. There's no guarantee an asshole will ever become a good person
Or that they'll-
unless the chaos of life puts them in a position to where their eyes open up. Other than that, and that's out of your control, you can't help a guy. You can't help a motherfucker. So instead of worrying about that, how about we concentrate on people that actually do get it, that care about facts, that want to weigh the pros and cons and not pick a stance because they need to feel angry, but are constantly curious and are willing to be fluid in
that's
their
all about finding better
worldview
people.
in order to propagate goodness. See, that's the thing. You say the conversation is about, well, in a world full of facts, how come assholes are still assholes?
No.
I think it's more than that. What it actually is we need to pay attention to like-minded people that are open to the facts, because those are the ones that you can change with facts. And so we need to be supporting fact-loving motherfuckers instead of worrying about how are we going to fix
But all
broken people that never had a chance to begin with.
All those broken people are the people like run society. And
That's not
make
true at all.
decisions.
No.
Oh yeah.
There's plenty of them about. But the only reason we even know they exist is because they are novelties in a world where most things work.
Well, they're also dangerous.
The only
because-
reason we give a shit about assholes is because things generally work, and so they're the only newsworthy motherfuckers. But the fact of the matter is, they're only newsworthy because they're anomalies. There are so few of them. I don't think the world is as bad as you assume. Hey, look, nature might have dealt you a bad hand. You might be going through a job thing. You might have to deal with bad roommates. I may have to look at my balls and go, you got to go one day. But by and large, are we not sitting here doing this? Are
Well, I
we
mean,
not?
yeah.
Are we not having an okay time? Is any of us bleeding rectally? Is any of us being thrown into a prison? Or any of us?
land of the free
I mean,
and all that.
the thing.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, life is generally good, and we only ever get to complain about things because bad things,
Well, we live in the first world, so of
bad
course
things
we have free
stick
time to
out,
complain.
but they're not the norm. It's easy to comment about bad things. And that's what happens with the bad people that have access to facts. They lean on the novelty of bad news and only think that bad news is what the world is made out of. And because it gives them license to continue to be angry. The three things. A guy shot 15 people in Oklahoma. I'm just making shit up. A guy shot 15 people in Oklahoma. Oh, man. So home security, I'm going to buy all the guns because that one thing happened. And this really big corporation screwed over a whole lot of people for their pensions, and it was a Ponzi scheme. Ah, shit. Don't trust big business. And there's this one politician over here that they made a fucking phone call, and it was really bad, and somebody showed their dick. You can't trust the government anymore because... But those were three things that stuck
But
out
it's
in a
more
world
than that.
where everything runs pretty fucking
it's
smoothly.
more than that, though. I mean, admittedly, it's because we live in the first world and we have the privilege to be annoyed about things and find fault with our environment and all that sort of thing. I mean, there are people, in other parts of the world that don't ever get to that because they're trying to just have food and live. So, I get that that's privilege, but at the same time,
Well, the basis of the conversation is that we here in the first world have access to facts. So the premise is a first world premise.
Well, yes.
So, I mean, let's just stick with that. I can't speak to a third world country because I have no third world experience.
Well,
and I would be out of sorts to say anything
I'm tying
about
that into what you're saying about, things aren't that bad, and we're only seeing 3 things out of 20,000 things, and most of those things work just fine. And, I mean, the reason we can even see those 3 things is because of the country we live in, all that sort of thing.
The reason we can see those 3 things is because of the news. If it bleeds, it leads. And so the worst things make it to air. But do they ever... so
what
as
about
an
a dog
example,
fashion show? Because that's not bad. Like, they put that on the news.
That's
this
also
is
not
a whole
news.
different podcast. But if we take, say, a shooter, let's say a guy shoots up a thing,
Okay.
and a bunch of people die,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody goes, "Oh man, that's really bad," because it is. It's really bad, and most of us go, "Well, that's really bad," but I'm gonna carry on with my day. I'm not gonna inform my life with extreme opinions based on a news story. A lot of assholes will. Here's the thing. Why doesn't the news ever put on a story in a country of 350 million people? They pull out the one story where 15 people died because of a crazy guy, but they don't do the story about the 350 million minus 1 story about everybody that had a pretty good day. They never tell you that because that's not interesting. But because that one story sticks out and it's negative, it will affect the simple-minded and the anger-prone into creating entire worldviews based off of a singular incident. And that's the difference between bad people and good people. You can't change bad people's thoughts with facts. Even though they're all out there for them to access,
But like saying-
they're not built that way. They're built bad, they're wrong, and eventually they will die out. We have been on a constant stream of progression ever since the Industrial Revolution and beforehand. Ever since we became humans, things have been progressing. That's why we call it progress
With
to
a
this
few little
very
hiccups
day.
here and there.
You see the very same assholes that have access to information but refuse to utilize it are the very same people 9 times out of 10 that will say, "Man, I wish we could go back to the good old days."
Yeah, the good old days, what with slavery and,
With slavery and subjugation and children working in fucking coal mines and
5-year-olds need money too.
because they're not the kind of people that are prone to thinking and absorbing facts. You know what's easy? TV. It told me that the world was good in 1950. Oh, and you
everyone
know
was
what
black
feels
and white.
really good? Being angry. I'm going to take those 2 influences, Leave It to Beaver, and I love being angry, and I'm going to make a worldview out of that, and I'm gonna reinforce it by what the news said about one shitty incident that happened in a world where things are generally fucking okay. Facts be damned. And that's why shitty people. But again, it would be a fallacy to say that there is a lot more shitty people than there is good people. Because if you start to think that way, you're thinking like the shitty people.
But knowing that most people are horrible, that doesn't make me a horrible person. That just makes me smart.
Well, that and the dumb people they are given the right to.
I mean,
The
that's
more
been my life
enlightened, the more
experience.
I would assume that the more enlightened way to think about it is that everybody may have an opportunity to shine. And although there are shitty people in this world, again, circumstances in their own personal lives may change them. You got at least that much hope.
No.
Don't ever write anybody off.
Whole sections of the population.
Writing people, you racist kid. Man.
I really, honestly, my life experience has been that 90% of people are absolutely fucking horrible and stupid and evil.
Does that
and
say something about people or say something about the position you put yourself in
it
to
says
meet
something
those
about
kind of people?
Because it's just random general people.
But you're speaking like an asshole would, that everything's wrong and nothing's right and everybody's shitty.
No, 90% of people are horrible. But there are 10% of people that are smart, decent, good people.
No. I say there's 10% of people that are intelligent, and everybody else is pretty cool, and then there's a few assholes, and they ruin the party for everyone.
Can't never have nothing nice.
No, you can't have nothing nice, Diva.
Never. Never.
But do you see the correlation here between what you just said, that everybody's an asshole, and the kind of asshole that thinks the world is against them and they're gonna buy all the guns and shoot all the niggers, and I mean, it's that kind. That's the same mentality. Oh, the world is awful. No, motherfucker, the world isn't awful. But you, unfortunately, aren't able to access and utilize facts because it doesn't help out your anger dopamine drug addiction.
Well, my whole thing is just I've seen behind the curtain of a lot of things, and
are you sure that you're not just saying that because the bad things stick out, and so those are the ones that are at the forefront of your mind?
I've seen some truly horrible shit happen, like.
So have I. So have all of us.
But I can't ever.
I've been
that
robbed.
out of my mind.
I have been robbed at gunpoint 3 times in my life. I've had people break into my house. I've had things stolen from me. I've been hit. I've been beat up by and abused by family members. I've had all kinds of shit. I've had best friends turn their back on me for ridiculous reasons. And yet, all these, out of actual personal experiences, out of all the nastiness, I can still look at the world and I never lock my fucking door.
Well, you're the glass half full kind of girl. That's the thing. I mean,
it's not a matter of glass half full or glass half empty. It's about looking around and deciding whether or not you want to contribute positively or feel that kind of superiority of shit that makes you angry and it feels good to be angry. It's easier to be Cro-Magnon. It's fun to be Cro-Magnon. It's no fun to say, no, things are cool. Some shit happens. That's bad. But generally, things are cool.
Come to the bad thing. Like I know it's there, so I can't not think about it, and I can't pretend it's not there.
How much time in your day do you concentrate on thinking about all the good things that happen to you?
The meager handful of good things. I don't know.
It's a chemical makeup. You either have a predisposition to thinking of the world the way it actually is, or you're easily hung up on anger and things that make you feel negative.
No.
Are you know what? I'm going to buy you a gun. I
don't want a gun.
I'm gonna take you hunting. We're gonna kill critters and hang niggers.
I have been hunting. Actually, I can gut a deer. Thank you very much.
See, you know how to gut a deer.
Yes.
You're one of those.
No, I dated one of those. I dated one of those once. That's how I learned.
Well, actually, I also.
You're dating a Republican.
Yeah. I'm working him through his Stockholm syndrome.
We have an enemy in our midst. That's what I would say if I were you.
I'm banging the Republican out of him slowly but surely.
Despite your deficiencies, I accept you into my life.
I have no deficiencies. I am perfect in every way.
But do you see the correlation? Do you see what I'm saying?
I get your point.
Goofing aside.
I get your point. I really do. I disagree with some of your points.
Okay, well, you know what? I have been long-jawed on this for the past, almost 30 minutes now. What do you disagree with? I'm going to shut up for a second. I want to hear your side of it as a person that's not prone to anger.
I have experience.
So, okay, you know what? That passive-aggressive shit, that's an angry person shit, too. So I'm just kidding. It's all you. It's all you.
Passive aggression is fine. Like, that's how you raise kids. Like, that's what you do. My whole thing is just that I've seen horrible shit. I've been through some horrible shit, and there are good things that happen, and I don't ignore the good things that have happened. I know they've happened. There are good things that make me happy. But just for instance, let's say breast cancer marathon. You see a commercial for that, you think, oh, that's so nice. People are out there doing something, and they're giving their money, and we're gonna cure this, and it's gonna be great. Well, what I think about is the fact that like 75% of every dollar given to that organization goes to pay for advertising and upkeep, and that almost zero money funds research, and so it's all one big lie, and it's a fucking shit show, and fuck these commercials, and people are fucking idiots that they don't see this shit. That's what goes through my head. Not yay, we're going to cure breast cancer. Let's go for a walk.
Why don't you try this? The next time you get up in the morning, why don't you just step outside, take 7 breaths, and say, I'm still alive.
I'm still here.
And the only reason why I never get upset or I never get the urge to kill is because I know that 44 years old is a grain of sand in a person's life. The earth has been, trees have been around longer than me. You know, their empires have been built, kingdoms, all sorts of things that have happened in my life that don't even equal to the horrors that are out there. But on the most of it, I can get up in the morning, I can breathe, and I can fight another fucking day. Because about 340 days ago, that option was not available to me.
You know what? There's something that I think needs to be said. All of what we've been saying comes from a presumption. That is taking the world in passively. Now, you said you see things like the breast cancer thing, and it's a shitty rig, you know.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. No, there are a lot of systems in place that aren't perfect, and you get to sit there and make that judgment call.
I do. I'm good.
But
at
what about this? And here's what separates the assholes from the people that are not. You know, you could, every time you see something like that happen, you know it's well within your power to go and do something. And I don't mean be an advocate or a hippie and pro-child. You know,
What
you
does
could
one do?
actually go and find a breast cancer patient, and you, just through your actions alone, just you making a one-on-one personal connection with somebody, make a breast cancer's patient's life a little bit better, a little bit easier.
Sure.
And you could say, hey, look, I know the shitty system, but you know what? Instead of being negative and shitty about it, here's what I can do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be passive. I'm not going to make judgment calls on the world that surrounds me from the safety of my own home. Here's what I'll do. I'll go out into the world, and I'll affect somebody's life, because that's all any of us can do. You know, we all think we got to be, in order to affect change, we got to be Superman. We got to be able to do it all at once, or it's not worth doing. No, that's not how society works, and that's not why we're progressive. We're progressive as a society in a whole by us interacting with other human beings in a way that
Sure.
affects change.
Sure.
And so you can sit and bitch about it, but every time you see yourself bitching about something and it affects your worldview and it makes it a little more negative, realize you can always step outside your door and do something positive. This is something that the assholes are not willing to do. You have the facts
This
at
is
hand.
something I forget about that I can do. I
You
forget
have,
that
see,
I have
as a
that
person that
agency.
realizes they have the facts at hand, you go, you Google those facts, you go and you talk to a professional, you hit up your college professor, you do something, and then you go out and you take that information, those facts that we hold so dear and think we're so much, because we utilize those facts, we're so much better than the assholes. Prove it. Take those facts, do something with those facts. And then you won't worry about assholes because you're busy doing something that assholes don't do.
I mean, you do
living
you have
a good
point.
life.
You do have a
living
point.
a good life. That's something that assholes that ignore facts, that's what they don't do. They're selfish. Don't be selfish. We know that the world's full of awful things. Recognize those things. Acknowledge those things. And then do good. That's how you do it.
On that, we agree. On that, we both agree.
And on that, I think we have a podcast because we're coming up. These tapes are about to end, and I don't want to do the thing where I got to restart the tapes. So, does anybody have anything to plug?
Yeah,
My bad.
website.
Oh, okay. Orion, you go
Wait,
first. We'll go around.
wait.
We'll go to,
Hold everything.
What?
Joe Jitsu calling Dick Tracy. What were the words that just came out of your mouth?
She said, "Do you have anything to plug?" And I said, "My butt."
Of course, because we're all fags.
Why? That
In
was
a room full of
free
fags, that
association.
is not an uncommon thing. Dude, it's been caught on camera over there. I got butt plugs over there. This is the house
Jeweled
of porn.
butt plugs,
This is
classy
saying
butt
you gotta
plugs.
plug your butt is not a thing in this house.
classy butt plugs.
It's a positive thing.
Okay.
I plug assholes.
ladies can you ladies can have your bling butt plugs. And on a side note,
And
try and say
$6 from Amazon. I'm gonna get every color.
and try to say bling butt plugs 7 times and see if you can pull that
Bling
off.
butt plugs, bling butt plugs, bling butt plugs, bling butt plugs.
Ah.
We found a new tongue twister.
For lack of a better phrase.
Cuz bucks.
Questdrums.com. All things Orion Quest. I got some shows coming up. Check it out. What about you, Diva, besides getting your butt plugged?
Well, doing hair, contact me at divapower00 at twitter.com and hit me up. I'll do your hair.
No blood plugs will be used in the
No
making of
butt
the hair.
plugs. None.
All right. Katie, you said very little. Say something now. You got some stuff to promote? What do you got?
Oh, love the world in spite of this shit, not because of it.
Okay, so, and then me, nothing. Go to approximatepodcast.com for all the things for this thing. And we have a burner line. It's where you can call us up and comment about what you just heard, comment about previous shows. You have some weird ideas. Are you a crazy guy? Do you like guns?
Are you sleeping with your mother's
Do you
corpse
know how?
in the house?
Yeah, do you do that? Well, tell us about it at 817-673-3704. Again, the line for this show, call up.
Creepy.
Yes, very creepy. Is 817-673-3704. And I think that's it. Orion, you got something to say?
Yeah. The Approximate Podcast is a Dead Curl production. You can find us all on Twitter. You can find Diva at Diva Powers or 00. You can find me at OQuest13. You can find Jamie on Twitter at Jamie_French.
I don't recommend it.
For messages and comments about the show, you can call or text us on the infamous burner line.
It's hot.
Go ahead and give us that number one more time, kid.
817-673-3704.
Call now.
Tell us what you like. Tell us what you hate. But most importantly, tell us what you think.
Tell us what you like.
You can find us on the triple W. You can find me at questdrums.com. You can find Jamie on tsjamiefrench.com. And you can get the podcast on SoundCloud, on my website. You can get it on iTunes. Where else?
Get it on Google.
Get it on Google?
Just
Google that shit.
Type it in and find all of our links.
You can get it on Google. As always, you can always find it on the mothership, approximatepodcast.com. You can find us on YouTube as well, under Approximate Podcast. And as always, YouTubers, like, comment, and subscribe.
I hate you all.
Thanks for watching. We post new content weekly, so look forward to new episodes at the beginning of the week.
If you like what you see, like, share, subscribe.
And never be afraid to comment. Just use the little comment section at the bottom.
Hey, guys, we also have a phone line. It's 817-673-3704. We call that the burner line. Leave us a message, send us a text, and we'll address it on the show. So, yeah, that's what...